Oi, gente, boa noite. Muito obrigada por se juntarem aqui comigo nessa live. Hoje eu tô com a Traci, que é a autora de A Leitora, do Reader, e eu vou deixar ela se apresentar um pouco e aí a gente vai começar com algumas perguntas. Se vocês têm alguma pergunta para ela, deixem no chat aqui do lado. So, can you introduce yourself first to everybody who doesn't know you and they're making this huge mistake of not knowing you?
Hi, everybody. I'm Traci Chee. I'm the author of The Reader, book 1 of Sea of Making Gold. I am a pretty big book nerd. I love hiking in nature. I have 2 dogs who are adorable little monsters. And I like arts and crafts.
Yeah, I saw that you paint eggs, right?
Yeah, it's a weird thing I picked up a few years ago. I saw someone doing it on the internet, and I was like, that's cool. I bet I could do that. And so I just kind of ordered the stuff, and I was like, here we go.
That's how I started on YouTube. Oh, I can do that.
And it worked out so well for you. I love your videos.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to explain that to them, and then we can jump right to the questions.
Sounds good.
Gente, então a Traci é a autora de A Leitora, que é esse livro que vocês estão vendo aqui na tela. Ela falou que ela adora escrever, adora livros, ela é tão nerd de livros quanto a gente. Ela tem 2 cachorros lindos, maravilhosos, se vocês seguirem ela nas redes sociais, vocês vão ver. São coisas muito fofas. E ela adora escalar, fazer trilha, natureza, ficar ao ar livre, e ela adora fazer artesanato também. Então, nos Estados Unidos tem uma coisa muito comum que é pintar ovos. Sabe ovos de Páscoa que a gente tem aqui? Lá é diferente, lá são ovinhos mesmo, todos coloridos e desenhados, e ela faz umas artes muito da hora. Depois vocês deem uma olhada lá nas redes sociais dela, que tem umas fotos muito legal mesmo. Então eu tenho aqui algumas perguntas, as perguntas vão aparecer na tela aqui pra vocês agora. E, opa, eu só esqueci de colocar a imagem dela aqui, desculpa. Então as imagens vão aparecer aqui pra vocês e eu vou falar as perguntas para ela em inglês, e depois eu traduzo para vocês. Okay, so I forgot to put you here, sorry. Okay, so right to the first question. You mentioned a couple of times that you're a proud bookworm. You read just as much as we do, and you love reading. And how was it to switch from reading and falling in love with other people's stories to creating your own and having people fall in love with those stories?
Thank you, because yes, I am a proud bookworm, but I don't feel like I switched over because I still read other people's books and I still fall in love with them. So I feel like just as big of a fangirl as anybody else, and to think that this is happening for other readers is kind of mind-boggling and very humbling to think that my words could be having that impact.
Então ela disse que ela não acha que foi meio que uma mudança de ser uma leitora para ser uma autora, porque ela continua lendo e absorvendo as histórias, mas que é muito humilde, é muito impressionante, digamos, ser alguém com que as pessoas conseguem se apaixonar e que as pessoas vão gostar das histórias. That's really interesting, actually, because I think there's a lot of booktubers and people from the internet that are publishing books now, and it's really curious to see, like, this person was a reader before they were authors, but we never see authors as readers before becoming authors. Like, this, it's sometimes hidden. Like, we know they love books, but we don't see that much, and you're so clear about it, and that it's really cool. I also wanted to ask you, I know that you're writing book 2 of the trilogy, and you commented somewhere that you've been studying a lot and doing a lot of research for that book. So what's different from the first book to the second one in the matters of your process of writing, your creative process?
Well, okay, so with The Reader, I took my time writing it. It was the first novel I ever finished, so I kind of tootled around for a long time, discovering what was going on. And then with the second book, The Speaker, I've had to write it much more quickly. So I've had to kind of learn how to write on a deadline and how to kind of get the pace going a little bit faster. So one of the main things I've been doing is learning how to plot, learning how to outline. Because The Reader just kind of meandered along, like over time. As I was writing it, and this one I've had to just be like, bam, 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 next thing.
It's more straight to the point, right?
Yeah, just trying to get it out there faster.
But do you think that that creative process of trying to be more direct in the matters of how productive your writing is? Thank you for the noise, motorcycle. Sorry. Do you think that transpired to the book as well, as in how the story develops, or is just how you're putting yourself to your writing, how you're actually writing the book, but the story stays in the same pace?
Um, that's a great question. And actually, I think it goes kind of parallel. So I'm trying to write faster, and at the same time, I'm trying to make the plot move along a little bit faster too. My natural writing mode is to have stories just kind of go along. Those are the stories that I really enjoy. But I think like a nicer pace is like a pacier pace. Is something that I I love about other books, and I would like to try and be able to do that myself. So, yeah.
That's really cool. Ok, translating. Eu perguntei, como vocês viram, se tem alguma coisa diferente que ela fez no processo de escrita do primeiro para o segundo livro. E ela disse que no primeiro livro ela foi devagarzinho, sem pressa, tranquila, só lá escrevendo, até porque é o primeiro livro. Mas para o segundo livro, provavelmente já tinha ali um prazo da editora e já tinha, olha, a gente precisa do livro para, sei lá, ano que parece que o livro vai ser lançado ano que vem. Então tem que ser uma coisa mais acelerada. Então ela aprendeu muito a fazer o outline do livro, que é como se fosse o roteiro. Imagina, vocês vão fazer um vídeo, como você vai organizar o livro inteiro. Então vai começar aqui, vai depois para isso, depois para isso. E aí vai se encaixando tudo dentro desse prazo. E aí eu aproveitei para perguntar se isso foi para escrita da história também. Se a história foi um ritmo mais pá, e resolveu. E ela disse que mais ou menos, mas ela prefere manter uma história mais no ritmo, de boa, um ritmo mais devagar, que dê para trabalhar melhor o que está acontecendo, e porque é o tipo de história que ela gosta de ler também. Okay, that's really cool. I'm really looking forward to the second book, by the way. I didn't know it was called The Speaker. Now I know,
yeah,
it's awesome.
We just released the title and the
Yes!
cover in the US this week, or last week, so yay!
So on the book, one of the things that I loved the most was the discussion, like the idea that everything can be a book and everything can be a story. Is there any particular memory or reason that you put that discussion in the book? Like, why did you decide to create that aura of everything has a story?
So that, yeah, there is a story behind this one, and it starts way back when I was in college. It was my senior year, and my instructor of one of my creative writing classes, to inspire us, took us to the library. And at the library, they have this thing called special collections, where they keep all of their most precious books, their oldest books, their most interesting books, their one-of-a-kind books. Yeah. And so we got to go in there, and the librarians had laid out all of these really interesting looking books. Yeah. Like there was a book that was made out of a red high-heeled shoe, and you could like crack open the shoe, and there were pages, and there were pages inside, and you could read them, just like you would a normal book. But there was also a book made out of metal. So it would look like, one of our books, but instead of, it didn't have words, it had circuitry inside it instead. And so, I had this kind of mind-blowing moment standing in this library, like, could anything be a book if only you knew how to read it? And, that became this seed of an idea for the different types of reading that you find in the reader. And I actually think one of the characters even says that.
I think so. I think I read that line somewhere.
Yeah. So there's so many different types of literacy that I'm really interested in. Like, for example, sports literacy is something that I do not have. Some people, they can look at a soccer field and know exactly what's going on and what the players are doing. And me, I look at it and they look like people running around, and then there's a ball going somewhere. And that's a type of literacy. They know how to read the field. And so I think that's just really interesting, the way that we can read different things, and the way that being able to read different things gives us power in different situations.
Wow, that's really cool. That I know the mind-blowing feeling now. It's like, wow, that is so true. Ok, então eu perguntei pra ela, gente, a sensação que no livro o universo lá em que eles vivem, ninguém lê, ninguém sabe ler. E tem o livro que é encontrado pela Céfia, que é a personagem principal, é uma coisa completamente nova, ela não sabe o que é um livro. Então, tem muita essa discussão de que qualquer coisa pode ser um livro. Então, uma árvore pode ser um livro, um celular pode ser um livro. E ela falou que tem uma história porque que ela criou isso. Que ela, uma vez, quando estava na faculdade, um professor, um instrutor, levou todo mundo para uma biblioteca. E na biblioteca eles tinham uma coleção especial de livros. Então os livros eram diferentes. Eles não tinham só histórias diferentes, mas eles tinham formatos. Um deles era em formato de salto, um salto alto vermelho. E você abria o salto, o sapato, e aí tinha um livro dentro, tinha histórias dentro. O outro era um livro feito de metal, que tinha circuitos por dentro. Então tinha tipo fios e coisas dentro. E aí ela teve um momento tipo, uou, em que estão com, cara, tudo pode ser um livro se a pessoa souber ler. E eu acho que com essa linha, essa frase tá no livro mesmo, que eu acho que eu li isso. E ela falou que é muito interessante os diferentes tipos de leitura que tem por aí. Então a gente tem a leitura dos livros, mas a gente tem leitura de espaço. Às vezes a pessoa sabe quanto espaço tem no lugar só olhando. Esportes também, a pessoa vê um jogo acontecendo, eu sei que esse jogador é essa função, que ele faz isso, e que se ele fizer isso vai acontecer isso. Então é meio que abrindo a discussão de diferentes tipos de leitura que existem por aí. E que é uma coisa muito, muito da hora. This is really, it's a really cool thought, like a really cool idea. Once you think of it, it's so obvious that, whoa, of course, how didn't I think of that before? Really interesting. Oh no, that's right. So the reader has a lot of diverse characters, and I like how every character, I don't know if that was intentional, but you described something that's not the standard that we see, that it's white males or females. Like we see that some characters have I think in English was something like the honey burns by the sun skin, like the skin was burned by the sun in a tone of honey or something. And I thought that was really interesting because our minds sometimes always go to the white characters and the Western characters. And even though we're trying to create a more diverse literature, especially on YA, how do you feel when you added those characters? Do you feel like you added all the diversity that you wanted, and you think that YA books and authors still have a long way to go to create a kind of story that everybody can relate to?
I also love this question because the diversity in the reader is really important to me. When I was growing up, I didn't see a lot of characters who looked like me in the books that I was reading. And so when I set out to write the reader, I was like, I'm going to write a character with black hair and not exactly white skin, she's going to have brown eyes. And so that readers who were like me could kind of have that character to see themselves in. And I'm glad that came across. I tried really hard to make sure that white was not the default in the characters of the reader. And then I do think I am so glad of this excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm so happy about the strides that we've made in giving us more diverse characters to read. I do think that there's still a long way to go. I mean, we're just beginning. There are so many voices that we still haven't heard from, and still so many types of characters or combinations of diversity that we haven't seen that I think would really enrich us as readers and enrich our communities if we just kept going.
That is so true. I completely agree with you. And I always ask these questions because I can see that many readers are trying, many authors are trying, and many readers want it. And maybe it's just a process, right? We already started it, and maybe it's just have to keep going until we see that white and male and heterosexual and binary, it's not the default. It's just one of the settings, one of the million settings that someone can have and be. That is really great. Okay, so
and inviting more people.
Yes.
To speak up and to write their own stories. Yeah.
Então eu perguntei, gente, no livro a gente tem vários personagens que são diferentes no sentido assim, eles não são todos brancos, homens, héteros, enfim. Tem personagens com pele negra, tem personagens com a pele amarelada, com a pele parda. E aí eu perguntei se a diversidade era uma coisa bem intencional dela, se ela queria muito colocar esses personagens, se ela conseguiu colocar tudo que ela queria. E se... Ah, bom, pergunta você já sabe. Mas ela falou que sim, que a diversidade era algo que ela queria colocar e que ela ficou muito feliz disso transparecer tão bem no livro, porque isso é muito importante, porque quando ela era pequena ela não tinha muitos personagens que pareciam com ela, que ela conseguia se relacionar e se ver nos outros personagens. Então ela queria colocar isso no livro para que leitores como ela, de todas as características possíveis, conseguissem se identificar também. E fala da pergunta de se a literatura YA tem avançado em termos de criar uma coisa mais diversificada. Ela diz que sim, que acho que tem muito avanço feito já, mas que ainda tem muito caminho pela frente, porque tem muitas vozes por aí para serem ouvidas, de diferentes histórias, de diferentes combinações, não só mulher asiática, mas mulher asiática trans, e homem trans negro, então todas as variedades possíveis de seres humanos por aí. E ela falou que é interessante ver como mais pessoas só precisam contar as histórias. Eu comentei que achava que a gente já estava no caminho, e ela concorda, e só precisamos mesmo continuar avançando e dar espaço para as pessoas falarem e contarem as próprias histórias. Okay, so next question is actually from one of the people who are watching. They ask, what's the most difficult part of creating an entire world and being a fantasy writer?
Oh boy, there are so many difficult things about being a fantasy writer. But I think one of the most difficult is that in writing a secondary world, a completely new world, there are so many rules and so much history and so many different organizations and institutions that you have to keep track of.
Yeah.
Like they have to remain the same. And you can't forget, like, oh, wait, I said that wasn't allowed in book 1, so I can't do it in book 2, or like setting up all of those rules, especially for the magic systems.
Oh, God.
Is really difficult to keep track of, because then, like, later on I'll be like, okay, I need something to happen here, but I can't do it because I already said that, like, that kind of magic wasn't possible, so then I have to find another way for the characters to get out of it.
Oh boy, yeah. When I see books that have a really complex world and like a really cool fantasy world like yours, I just think, whoa, this is so cool. And the next second I think, whoa, this must be so difficult to do. Man. Eu perguntei pra ela qual era a dificuldade maior em escrever um livro de fantasia, e não tá aqui aparecendo porque eu pulei as perguntas, gente. Troquei as perguntas aqui, tá, mas qual é a maior dificuldade de escrever um livro de fantasia, ser um autor de fantasia? E ela disse que é organizar tudo, todo o universo, assim, quando você cria um outro mundo, você tem que pensar, lembrar de tudo. Então, coisas que aconteceram no primeiro livro, que aconteceram no segundo, e principalmente o sistema mágico, e como que a magia funciona em todos os livros. Então, às vezes ela falou que tá em algum momento, que tá aqui contando a história, e aí quer que alguma coisa aconteça, mas ela já falou que outra coisa tinha acontecido, e aí não pode fazer porque tem que alinhar com tudo. E, gente, isso deve ser a coisa mais difícil do mundo. Sério, deve ser muito complicado. Yeah, I totally agree. It must be so difficult. I wouldn't dare trying to write fantasy because I just knew my mind wouldn't handle trying everything, writing everything down. It would be so hard. Something that I was...
in fantasy... Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, at least in fantasy, there are some things that you can't make up. Like, I'm a little bit afraid of writing science fiction because that has to be kind of based in actual science. And that is something that terrifies me.
Well, you can write speculative fiction, which is, it's just guessing that science will reach that point, but...
Eventually.
Yeah, so just, you don't have to have any scientific basis that, you're just guessing, so... Ela falou que gosta de que na fantasia ela pode inventar o que ela quiser, e uma coisa que ela pensou se escrever ficção científica, só que ficção científica tem que ter alguma base da ciência, como eu já expliquei no Bruna Explica sobre ficção científica. E eu falei que ficção especulativa pelo menos você pode chutar, então talvez a ciência em algum momento chegue a esse ponto. Você não precisa ter base pra isso, né? Então, É interessante por isso. Something that I was most looking forward to asking is that you mentioned a few times how books are magical on the thank you part of the book. In the end, you mentioned that, and I always thought that something that's really magical is when you read a book and you get that feeling of, wow, this person gets me in some way. Either it's a line that the character says, or the situation, or how the character is feeling. And to me, to find that opposite point in a book and know that someone out there wrote that, it's extremely, I can't even describe it. That's one of the reasons why we love books, I think. And I wanted to ask you, how does it feel to be that someone that people from everywhere can relate to? Like being that someone that people will come to you and say, your book got me into reading. I love fantasy now because of your book. Or your book made me want to start reading again. Or my daughter read your book and loved it, so I read. So you probably receive some of those comments or emails or tweets, and you probably will receive more. How does it feel to be that responsible?
It is terrifying. Like, it is scary because that is a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
To be forming connections with people you don't even know personally. That's amazing. I mean, I love the way that you put it, but it also makes me very scared. And also humbled and grateful, to be the writer of those words that people are connecting to. That's amazing because it's so valuable to me growing up, and even now when I find a line in a book that it speaks to my heart.
Yes.
It's just such a beautiful thing, and to be a part of that kind of interaction it's wonderful and also terrifying. Wonderful and terrifying.
I think that describes really well how we all feel on the internet as well. Então eu perguntei, como vocês viram, como é que é a sensação de ser alguém com que as pessoas conseguem se identificar e conseguem ter aquela sensação da gente tem de fangirl, tipo, ai, ela entendeu como eu me sinto. E ela falou que é assustador, é um tanto difícil de explicar até, e ao mesmo tempo é incrível e tão impressionante, porque você forma conexões com pessoas que você não conhece, que vocês não fazem a menor ideia, e essas pessoas se emocionam com os livros e se relacionam com os livros. E ser parte disso, e ser a pessoa que escreveu essas palavras é incrível, e ser uma parte dessa interação é algo que não dá para explicar. É assustador e ao mesmo tempo é impressionante. Back to the second book, though, because now I'm obsessed with the second book. Have you thought about how the story will end on the third? You still have one book to go, right? You still have to write the third book. But have you thought about how it will end? Do you have options, or is like, this is how I want it to end? I always thought it would end like this, and this is it, or the characters are just evolving by themselves as you write it?
I think it's a combination of both. Like, from the very beginning, I have known which characters are going to die. By the end
oh my god.
I know who I'm going to kill off. But very recently, within the past couple months, I've also decided to spare at least one of them. Someone has convinced me that at least one needs to live. So like there is that. As I'm kind of discovering more about kind of the shape of the story and where it's going, some people are being spared and others, their fate is sealed.
Oh my god. Now you just said that. Okay, so my mind went straight to a certain character that probably everybody thinks about. I can say the name because it's a... So I obviously automatically thinking about Reed. And I'm just going to... if he dies, I'm just going to be so upset. It's like Sirius Black all over again. You fall in love with the character and then the author just breaks their heart.
For a character to be compared to Sirius Black. Oh, thank you.
Ok, let me pull myself together. Então, gente, eu perguntei se o final da trilogia já tá definido, se ela já pensou, tipo, é assim que eu quero que a história termine, ou se tá flexível ali, se dá pra mudar alguma coisa. E ela me matou do coração e falou que desde o começo ela sabia quem ia morrer ou não. E pronto, Bruna surtou aqui, né? Então, Mas ela falou que aos poucos, principalmente nos últimos meses, ela foi pensando em quem que ela poderia poupar, quem poderia sobreviver, e que pelo menos um vai sobreviver. E tem um personagem no livro que se chama o Capitão Reed, que é maravilhoso, que eu já estou amando. E aí eu falei, pelo amor de Deus, que não seja ele. E, né, autores gostam de partir o coração. E aí eu falei que, por favor, que não seja que nem o Sirius Black, que a gente se apaixona pelo personagem, um personagem maravilhoso, e aí o autor vai e mata. E ela falou que é uma honra ter o personagem comparado com o Sirius. There is one question from the chat here, and they ask to write a... Okay, wait, let me see. How can I translate this? Okay, so Corinne is asking if you wrote, before you writing the fantasy book, the first book, did you write something to organize your thoughts and your ideas? Like, did you write anything before the reader became the reader? The matters of, okay, so I have this short story, and then you just develop into the reader, or was this just something that came into your head? Okay, this is a trilogy.
Was it Karina?
Yeah, Karini.
Okay, she is super astute because that is exactly what happened. I was in graduate school at the time, and I was writing a lot of literary fiction for adults, and one of my nerdiest friends, Tucker, asked me, hey, you're writing all of these kind of literary things. Can you write me a fantasy story? And I said, okay. So I got on my computer, signed into Facebook, and started typing him a Facebook message. And it just kind of came out, like this little kind of character description about a girl with a magic book.
Oh my God.
With, like, Captain Reed was in there from the very beginning, and, like, it was all there. And then years later, when I decided I really want to write this novel, I knew that I had to go back to these characters and kind of this world with this magic book in it. So, wow, that's an amazing question.
Wow. So it just started from a Facebook message?
Yes, a Facebook message, and I still have it. I still have a Facebook message.
Oh my God! Frame it! Então, a Karine, obrigada, Karine, pela pergunta, perguntou se para escrever um livro de fantasia, ela escreveu um livro com a história antes do livro para se organizar. E aí eu perguntei se ela escreveu alguma história antes, se tinha alguma coisa antes da leitora ser a leitora. E ela falou que sim, que acertou, tipo, na lata, que ela estava na escola, não é no colégio, desculpa, não é no colegial, é na pós-graduação, mais ou menos. E aí um amigo dela chamado Tucker pediu para ela escrever uma história de fantasia. E aí ela foi, tipo, no Facebook e começou a escrever aqui, a história de uma menina chamada tal, e começou a escrever, e aí tinha o Capitão Reed, maravilhoso. E aí, daí foi. E aí, muitos anos depois, ela, vou expandir essa história e tornar isso um livro. I'm impressed, really. I'm really impressed. It all came from a Facebook message.
I think it was stated, because I think that the stories that you have to write just kind of stick with you, no matter how small they started.
That's beautiful. Ela disse que as histórias que marcam você, elas ficam mesmo com você, porque você tem que escrever em algum momento. Em algum momento elas vão virar uma história maior. So last question, so you can go watch the Chris Pratt movie, Guardians of the Galaxy. It blanked me for a second. So it's from Planeta Pop, and it was the biggest challenge that you faced writing your first book, like being debut, how do you call it? Debut author?
Oh, yeah, debut, yeah.
Yeah, from being a debut author, what was the biggest challenge that you had?
The biggest challenge that I had, this is like, I feel two different questions. Like, one question is the biggest challenge in writing my debut novel, and the other one is, right, being a debut novelist. What is the biggest challenge there?
I think it's writing your first novel, actually, like writing your first debut novel.
The challenge, I think, was getting all the way to the end, because it was the first novel that I ever completed, and just kind of pushing through that mushy middle and like getting all, like actually completing it and having the whole thing out there before I started revising. was the hardest. I take forever to draft. I find it really difficult. So actually getting the draft out there, I think, is the most difficult thing for me. For the first book, for the reader, and also for the speaker, drafting is difficult. But it has to be done.
Thank God it was done. O Planeta Pop perguntou qual o desafio que ela enfrentou em escrever o livro. E como eu fiz mais ou menos essa pergunta, eu perguntei qual foi o desafio de escrever o primeiro livro, de ser o primeiro livro escrito. E ela disse que era, na verdade, terminar o livro. Que ela demora muito para fazer os rascunhos e começar ali o processo de escrever e passar por todo o meio da história e se o meio tá batendo com o começo, com o final, e finalmente chegar no ponto que tá, agora eu vou revisar e terminar o livro. E eu super entendo, porque eu tenho sérios problemas para terminar as coisas, então, e faz muito sentido isso. I think that's all the questions that we have, and we're running out of time, but I just want to thank you again for writing this novel first, because it was great. I loved it, and I was really looking forward to a fantasy book. I've been parched for a big universe that I can just, wow, I want to learn more about this universe and how things work. So thank you so much for that, and for taking the time of your Sunday to chat with us. It's really, really cool to get to know the author in a different way than just interviews on the screen. So thank you so much.
Yeah, this was wonderful. Thank you for interviewing me and letting me kind of into your world and letting me listen to you translate, because you have such a beautiful voice. I really appreciate it, and it's so much fun. Thank you.
Gente, eu agradeci ela por ela ter escrito o livro. Gente, sério, o livro é muito, muito, muito legal. Quem não viu, essa aqui é a arc do livro. E this is the arc, by the way. I think the cover, once it's done, it's so much prettier. But I don't know if you've seen it, like a physical.
I haven't seen it like this yet. This is beautiful. I love this cover.
It's
so
impressive.
stunning.
So I think the actual finished copy has, I don't know if it stands out, like if it's this, but it's like cutting off paper. I'm not sure though, but it's amazing. This is just the arc. Então eu agradeci ela, gente, por ela ter escrito o livro, que é muito, muito, muito bom. Tem o link aqui na descrição do livro, a sinopse, o link da Amazon, tudo pra vocês conhecerem. E agradeci por ela tirar um tempo do domingo dela pra conversar aqui com a gente. E ela agradece pela entrevista, por ter conversado. E aparentemente ela acha que português é um idioma muito legal e que adorou a tradução. E, gente, se vocês quiserem conhecer o livro, as informações estão todas aqui. A live hoje foi mais curtinha porque o tempo dela era curto. Mas obrigado por vocês que assistiram. Próximo domingo tem mais live e a gente conversa. Então, muito, muito obrigada. Um grande beijo. Tchau.